Coming on this Friday, April 21st here, I should say Thursday, April 21st, we do have a monthly cattle and feed report. This is, of course, an update on the cattle that are going into feedlots, cattle that have left feedlots in the previous month, and pretty much what's left over as of April 1st here. So as far as this report, we do have quite some basic things we'll look at here. Key points that we'll have to point out here, more or less that there is a little range in estimates here to speak of as far as placements. We'll speak on this number first, then we'll go into marketings, and then on feed here. So placements in the past 7 months, you can tell by these arrows here, we've had numbers higher in 6 of the past 7 months here, running from August through February. 6 of those past 7 months, we have seen higher placements. We've had a few things going on here. Of course, drought in the plains, keeping those young calves and stocker cattle off of winter wheat pastures, and that's actually continuing again here this month, which covers the month of March. So number one is going to be drought being a key issue here. Second factor is that large run-up in cash cattle prices we saw. So we saw cash cattle prices rise all through the fourth quarter, and in fact peak here in the just recently here at that 124 price. So number one is going to be drought, and number two, we can also point to the fact here that people are just simply plain bullish here. As far as numbers, we do expect, as far as numbers, we expect a 1.3% increase for the month of March. The trade right now is expecting about a 4% increase here. So the question is, how large of an increase will we see? One question here is, of course, well, just how many are still out there? I mean, we use so many already, or that are already in the feedlots. Are there many left here? And that's certainly a question we'll have to start answering, or we'll start answering here in the next few weeks here. One thing to also speak of, the third factor here of why we have these higher placements, is the fact that we have so many females being put into the feedlot. We do have a reduction in the beef cow herd still going on, and that is certainly going on by fewer heifers being put in the feedlot, or fewer heifers being held back for the farm. As of January 1st, if you look at this red dot, we had about 5% more females in the feedlot than last year here. So certainly that is a factor as well. So 3 large factors for why we've had such a large increase in feedlot placements in the past few months. And if you want to view that, just simply a graphic of profits here. During the month of March, closeouts on finished cattle reached about $113 per head. Certainly, as you can tell by this chart, that's kind of unusual compared to the past few years. We've only had about 4 or 5 other months during 2010 where we saw numbers similar here. So certainly large profits going on as well. So we know we've got more cattle going into feedlots. Well, what's coming out here? We are reaching the point now where we have seen marketings certainly flip to above last year levels, and that's because we did put all those placements in the feedlots starting in August on. So we are now actually seeing the fruit of our labors, we could say. So we do have simply more numbers available right now. You can argue perhaps we are running a little lean in terms of currentness, and that means that perhaps many of these cattle are maybe just are being used up by packers a little quicker than we would expect. But for the most part, we say that this large increase in marketings, which we say is 2.8% higher than last year during the month of March, the average guess is very close to us, 3.1% higher than last year. These are primarily due to the fact that we have more cattle to place from all those build-up and placements here. One thing we have to speak of here is if we had a large jump in placements in the past few months, well, when are these going to hit, and when will they end? We will end this higher marketing pace probably around late June or so. One thing we have to speak of here is simply on a normal pace, because we market more cattle or we place more cattle in the fall, they come out during the summer. So we are still on the seasonal increase in supplies. In addition, you may remember back from that placement graph that we saw our largest jump in placements during December, a very large increase. So we actually are going to see numbers right now, as we said, about 3% higher than last year. They're going to actually build to during the month of May, June, and July. We will have many weeks where we have slaughter running a good 6% higher than last year. So not only do we have a seasonal increase in supply that we're still looking at, on top of that we'll have a seasonal or a larger than normal jump in supply simply due to all those placements during the fall, winter. As far as cattle on feed, it's been pretty consistent the past few months. We do expect for this report to show 4.6% more cattle than last year. That's going to be close to average guess of 5.2% higher than last year. So bottom line, 5% more cattle on feed. Keep in mind, most of these are going to be marketed here in the next 2 to 3 months. The bulk of them will. We're going to see a shortfall hopefully develop here once we reach past July and we reach more into that August through September time frame here. The one thing as far as marketing, as I mentioned there, was during the summer, we'll reach points where we see cattle slaughter hit 6%, even higher than last year type of slaughter. So we're going to have ample supply. On top of that, we're getting about a 0.5% increase in production due to weights. We do have weights a little higher than last year. As you can tell from here, in the past 2 or 3 weeks, we have taken weights down a little bit here because packers did kind of bring numbers down a little more than we expected the past few weeks. But bottom line is we still have about a 0.5% increase coming from dressed weights in production. So we can expect some beef production numbers during the heart of summer to probably actually reach about 6.5% to 7% higher than last year. So we will have an ample supply of cattle available for these feedlots here, or coming out of feedlots in the next few weeks and certainly months here. So this report should really shouldn't change any ideas in terms of supply here. Generally looks like a buildup in supply coming for the summer. Numbers we expect reaching into the third quarter, and certainly by the fourth quarter, we'll should see a severe dryness coming in supplies, and certainly much higher prices by that later time of this year. If you have any questions, feel free to give us a call here at Allendale, 1-800-262-7538. We also have some very important action that you need to take regarding your cattle right now for you cattle feeders out there in case you are not hedged yet. We certainly do make strong recommendations to get all cattle hedged that we marketed from now through July. So certainly feel free to give us a call and find out what exactly we're doing to get this done here. 1-800-262-7538. Thank you.